Iran-Israel news today. Israel fighter jet kills Hezbollah target amid Middle East bombardment. Kafr Kila, a community not far from the Israeli border, was the site of Sunday's strike. Sunday saw the release of strike footage by the Israel Defense Forces. Firefights between Hezbollah and Israel forced the inhabitants of the village of Kafr Kila to flee their homes. The village is located just kilometers away from the Israeli border. Shortly after the Israel-Hamas conflict broke out on October 7, the Iranian-backed Lebanese organization Hezbollah started striking Israel's northern border. Earlier this month, the group was also involved in the rocket and missile bombardment that hit Israel. Reports indicate that Hezbollah rockets are overpowering Israel's Iron Dome defense system, which has caused concerns of a broader regional battle in the Middle East. Hezbollah is vehemently against both Israel and American meddling in the Middle East. When the Palestinian groups Hamas and Islamic Jihad, which receives support from Iran, launched an attack on Israel on October 7, it triggered a catastrophic Israeli offensive in Gaza that has lasted for over 6 months, increasing tensions in the region. Public health authorities in the area report that more than 34,000 Palestinians have lost their lives as a result of the conflict in Gaza. Militias backed by Iran in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen have also launched missiles and drones against Israeli targets during the conflict, and Hezbollah's rapid strikes on Israeli targets sparked a second front of tit-for-tat fighting. Israel and Iran have been involved in a covert conflict for quite some time, with most of that fighting taking place in Syria, but they have usually avoided head-on conflicts. Bombing an Iranian diplomatic complex in Damascus, Syria, on April 1 killed 2 generals, changing that. Iran claimed Israel was behind the strike and threatened retaliation. Even though Israel remained silent, the Iranian response came on April 13, when Iran launched more than 300 missiles and attacked drones in its first-ever direct attack on Israel. Joint operations between Hezbollah and the Houthis in Yemen carried out the assaults. Although a small number of missiles did manage to fall, they caused moderate damage to an Israeli military installation and severely wounded a young girl. Despite this, Israel, in conjunction with a U.S.-led international coalition, claimed to have intercepted 99% of the approaching fire. Both Iran and Israel downplayed Friday's retaliatory bombing by Israel in central Iran, indicating that the two regional rivals are prepared to quell the latest outbreak of conflict between them. The latest Israeli strike on a Hezbollah operative took place on Sunday, but whether or not this would increase tensions is still up in the air. Joe Biden has reaffirmed the United States' support for Israel and cautioned Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to think carefully and strategically about the possibility of escalation, as presidents typically do, in light of Israel's continuing struggle with Hamas and its recent confrontation with Iran. S&P Global Ratings lowered the country's important short and long-term credit ratings on Thursday. S&P Global has given a negative outlook on long-term ratings and lowered the long-term foreign and local currency sovereign credit ratings to A+ from AA-. They also lowered the short-term ratings to A1 from A1+. Israel and a coalition of nations, including the United States, successfully repulsed an Iranian missile and drone attack on their territory, and then Israel launched a retaliation strike.